Hi everyone! So it has obviously been quite some time, but I really wanted to get into accord with this dress today, and I figured that it would be a good time to finally do a comparison video of two very similar dresses that I have, but that are definitely very different in some subtle ways. So the dress that I'm talking about, which I will show a stock photo of here, is my Milky-chan the Fawn Applique JSK in the polka dot corduroy. So this dress came in, I believe, 3 different colorways, but another dress that is very similar to it is the Milky-chan the Fawn Velveteen JSK. And they look very similar, especially in the stock photos when you don't see them up close. However, they're actually very different, and I have both of them. So I figured that it might be fun to do a little compare and contrast just to show the subtle differences that there are between these two pieces. So obviously I'm wearing the polka dot corduroy JSK. Out of the two, actually I can't really choose a favorite. It's I love both of these so much. I love my Applique JSKs. If you've watched my other content, you know that this is my favorite technique. The appliques on these two pieces are exactly the same, so that is not the differentiating factor, but I do find that while I love velveteen, the corduroy is much more functional, so I guess that maybe that would be my favorite. I don't know, maybe it will change after we go over the compare and contrast. So let's get her down. Okay. So this is the velveteen one. As you can see here, I do have to tighten this pearl. She's just barely hanging on. But yes, so where are you? There you are. Oh my god. There she is. From just here up, you can already see, oh my god, they look very similar. But that is just looking at it from this far away. That is, again, one of the many unfortunate things about having stock photos that do not show very good and high quality. So I think that this will be a lot of fun to actually be able to show the very subtle differences that there are between the two pieces. So without further ado, I guess let's get down to it, and then afterwards I will show a cord with both of the pieces and just show how I would cord each of them. I don't know, I think that outfit cord try-ons are fun, so I do like to include that. But yeah, let's get started. Alright, so first is the Velveteen JSK. So here's just a quick up and down look of the piece so you can have a good overview of it. But of course, I really want to start by focusing on the applique itself. So you can see that there's actually a variety of materials used. There's fake fur, there's ribbon, there's pearls, there's machine embroidery, there's fleece. It's just crazy. It's incredibly detailed. And of course, here's all the custom AP Milky-chan the Fawn lace. They've used it on several pieces, so that's not anything specifically for this, but it is very cute. All along the skirt seams, you can see that there's this tulle lace, and that continues on to the bodice princess seams. Here we have an up-close of the waist bow. You can see that the pearls are attached. I actually just retightened a bunch of the pearls as I showed before, and it has a different kind of lace used along the edges of that. You can see that along the top of the bodice, there's also that dot lace, like is scalloped along the edge of the dress. And then here we have the removable pearl chain clip that has the little bows on it. They're safety pinned onto the dress, so that way you can take it off to wash it. And you can also remove the pearl chain from the bows themselves, funnily enough. You can also see that coming off of the top edge of the bodice, there's this other tulle lace, and then again the Milky-chan the Fawn lace, all along the shoulder straps. Again, along the edges of the waist ties is that same lace and that same dot embroidery lace that's top stitched on. You can see that there's an invisible zipper on one side along with one of the waist tie buttons. It has a really cute effect to it. It looks kind of like marble, I guess, or like pearl. And then of course we have a side pocket. Moving on to the back of the dress, you can see that same dot embroidered lace being used. Here's the back shirring. You can see how it's being laced up with other little ribbon loops at the edges of the shirring. And here we can see there are adjustable buttonholes and buttons to adjust the length of the straps for the JSK. Inside of the dress we have the built-in petty, and it is fully lined. And then here we have the care tags on the inside of the JSK. Here the JSK is inside out. One critique that I do have of this is the way that the dot embroidered lace was top stitched on, just because as you can see the lining gets a little bit twisty here and there, so it's kind of weird, but other than that I think that this is put together really beautifully. And of course we have the AP tag sewn on the back. One other fun thing to look at before we move on to the brown one is the underside of the applique, where you can see all of the different stitching lines that were used in the actual application of it. So moving on to the brown corduroy polka dot JSK version of this dress. As you can see right off the bat, there are some changes. First major one that you can see is that there are pom-poms instead of lace along the trim, and there are no scallops with that same dot embroider lace along the edge of the skirt. And as I said before, there's no changes to the applique, so I'm not really going to go over that again. One of the major changes as well, though, is that the lace that was along the seam lines is now a totally different kind of lace. Instead of being a net tulle lace like the other one, it's now an imitation of crochet lace. Here's the waist bow. There's no major changes to that, but something that you can see is that there's that dot embroidered lace along the waist, which is entirely missing or just not there on the velveteen one. Moving on to the bodice, you can see there's also a different kind of lace coming off of the top edge. This one is an imitation of handmade torchon lace, which is again not a net tulle lace like on the other one. The same as on the other one though, there is that custom Milky-chan the Fawn lace all along the shoulder straps. And also again is that same pearl chain and detachable bow mechanism that's going on there. It also has the same side zipper, and then also the waist high buttons are the same, and there is again, of course, a pocket in the side seam. The waist ties here also have the same lace that was used coming off of the top edge of the bodice, that imitation torchon lace, and then they also have the top stitched dot embroider lace along the edge. Moving on to inside of the dress again is the same built-in petty, and then also the full skirt lining, and then as well as the care tags. Moving on to the back, you can again see that those scallops are missing along the edge of the skirt as compared to the velveteen JSK. The lacing, though, is exactly the same with the ribbon loops. And also the same is the buttonhole and button mechanism for adjusting the straps. Here again, it is inside out. You can see that the top stitching lines here are actually a lot better than on the other JSK. And finally, here again is the inside of the Milky-chan the Fawn applique, where you can see all of the different embroidery stitching lines that keep everything attached to the dress. So here we have both of the dresses next to each other. Even though they're very similar, when we actually put them next to each other, I feel like it's much easier to see that there are definitely some detail differences that make them pretty distinctly different from each other. Obviously, that is also forgoing the obvious that they are completely different colors, but I'm not counting that. I guess my main point is that even though the cuts of the dresses are very similar, they are also very different. And I think that that can be said for a lot of these older AP applique pieces that kind of did the same thing. If you want more information on that, definitely look at Lolabrary just to look at some of the subtle differences in materials and in cuts and in colorways that all of these older applique pieces had. Obviously, I would love to do that myself, but unfortunately, I do not have every applique piece AP has ever made. So now that I've gone over these dresses, here are some of the cords that I've most recently done with these two pieces.
You look very cute.
Thank you, I really tried. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I really love to look at the insides of dresses, look at the details of dresses, especially older AP pieces, mostly between 2005 to 2010. I find a lot of the details and construction techniques that are used to be very fun and to be very interesting. They're very unconventional, and there's something very charming about it to me. So I hope that you enjoyed that too. I am going to try and be posting some more of my wardrobe because so much of it consists of that time period. So I figured that if you have an interest in seeing those kinds of things, that you would like that content as well. So if that is something that you would like to see, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you soon. So thank you all again, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye!